Welcome to Conversations Over Coffee. I am your host, Chris, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Denise.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, I hope everybody had a nice weekend so far. We still have, what's that, Sunday to go? Yeah. So, what's been going on, man?
I've been doing my old lady gardening today.
Has that been fun? You like gardening?
I like the outcome. I like looking out in the yard and seeing the pretty flowers and it clean and organized.
Yeah, gardening's a lot of work. And where we live, a lot of people, buy a lot of mulch. You see, when it's time to buy mulch, can you see the bags sitting up on the driveways and stuff like that? This is the prime time to do your yard.
Well, it's nice to live in an area where people care about how their yard looks.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. What's that? What's the name of that new neighborhood over by Dillon School?
Wendell Falls?
Wendell Falls. Yeah, that community. Yeah, I saw a couple mulching, a couple people's yards, but that place is always clean over there. But like you said, they probably pay a little bit more for, that type of stuff, right?
I bet they have very strict HOA rules about how their yards look. So,
Do we have strict HOA rules?
no. Our rules are you can't have a pool, you have to get permission to build something bigger than a shed, you have to mow your grass. You're not
Hmm.
supposed to park your car in the yards.
Oh,
And that's like the big ones that I can
well,
remember.
them neighbors keep on driving in their, what's that? Their front lawn. Or their truck, yeah. Last time that truck, but yeah. How many plants did you plant?
One, two, three, six, eight,
8?
nine, 10 if you count. I replanted some bulbs of some elephant ears to see if they'll come back up.
Oh. Do you think you get that um, love for planting plants from your mother? Because she used to like playing in the dirt, so to speak.
Yeah, I guess so. Always, since I can remember, somebody in my family has gardened or had flowers. Lots of vegetable gardens. My nanny liked to have azalea bushes and flowers in her front yard. So I don't know. I don't know that I'm ever going to be a master gardener, but I like, it looks nice to have a little decor, I guess, color, little spot of happiness out in the front instead of just all straight lawn,
Oh
especially
yeah,
since we have a little yard.
yeah. And my biggest thing is I wish the grass was good, but that's something we have to work on.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's 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 a different territory when you own a home, versus renting.
Yeah, or even when you live in a townhome and someone else takes care of that stuff in the front.
Yeah, it's like when you own a home, it's not oh, I'll buy a house and it'll just be perfect. No, you just gotta keep all the time. It's like all the time doing something.
Oh yeah, you're never done with your projects, it seems.
Yeah, it's like this. I'm not gonna say their names. We got friends that you know you see their homes and their yards, and you're like, oh man, they got it down packed, but they all the time are constantly doing something, you know, to their house or something, all the time.
We had friends that just ripped up all their front yard bushes
Yeah,
and started over.
yeah, it's a big thing, definitely. So what you been watching on TV, man?
So I'm back on my documentary kick, and I found one. I can't remember. Maybe it was called Kid Fluencers. I don't remember the name of it. It was on
Yes.
Max, but it was about this girl named Piper Rochelle.
No, I think it was on what you talking about? It's on
No,
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Yeah, there's so many streaming.
And it opened my eyes to a world that I did not even realize existed, with these kids and young teenagers having YouTube channels and like making kabillions of dollars doing videos, and how it can quickly get out of hand if your parents aren't monitoring or if they don't have good intentions.
Yeah, well, they make a lot of money. You think it's from their demographic, and it's their demographics probably only what's that? How much would you say? 10, 20? Not even 20, not even 20%. What did that say?
I
How
said
many did they find?
92% of
10,
their
yeah.
content was watched by adults.
Adults,
Oh,
like men.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a pedophile
Creepy.
buffet, you could say.
Oh man.
one that you know that and you still put your kid up there and have her
Mm.
wear provocative stuff and pose and do provocative things. It's like, is money really worth your child's innocence like that?
Yeah, in this case, in this documentary, absolutely. You know, because she was the mom. What was the mom's name? Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Tiffany, whatever, was exploiting, her daughter.
Piper Rochelle.
Yeah, Piper Rochelle, her daughter, and their friends, which is the squad. You know, that's what they call themselves.
Right, the squad.
And she was doing sexual things or hints. I'm not gonna say she was
Yeah,
doing.
she was being inappropriate with them.
Yeah, kids, freaking gross, man.
But I had no clue that that was such a big YouTube world. I guess I'm a YouTube novice, so
Yeah, we're pretty. No, but I forgot when this happened. It happened a couple years ago, right around the pandemic. That's when her rise
yeah,
was happening. A little
it.
bit before the pandemic, you know.
But that was only 3 years ago. At this, what? No,
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
4 years ago
No, it was
now.
2001,
We came out of the pandemic in like 2022,
2022,
didn't we?
yeah, 2022, 2023, I think. Yeah, so you're right. It wasn't that long ago, man. But you talking about that's not a good time to exploit your kid for sure.
When all these kids want to be, I don't know if they want to be famous, famous, or if they just want to be YouTube famous. But it's like, what's your future really?
What?
And
Oh,
what's the future for the world if you don't like have a regular job with a skill set
what?
that contributes in some
You're
way?
saying that, but you forgot to mention that Piper has no education from
Oh,
what the
that's
documentary
right.
says. Her mom kept her out of school. After all this shenanigery happened, and stuff like that. Because what YouTube, what did they do? Pause their channel or
they
suspended the
they
channel?
suspended their monetization.
Yeah, and she found other outlets to say, "Hey, I have to make money for my family, so I get on Snapchat, all these other things." So poor little Piper has been robbed of education.
Of her whole entire childhood.
Almost sounds like Michael Jackson.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Joe Jackson
Did
just
they go to school?
probably so. I'm nobody talked about it. Did Michael Jackson go to school? I'm
Maybe he
assuming
got
maybe.
homeschooled.
Yeah, yeah,
They were strong religious people. I can't imagine they wouldn't
yeah.
follow the rules.
Had to be, yeah. And they won't never, like they were crazy people. But yeah, what is it? It's what's that? Three, I think 3 episodes on Netflix, 52 minutes apiece.
Yeah. I'm used to like Ryan's World, and
They talked about Ryan's World up
they
there.
did, and that little girl, Diana, sometimes Dylan likes to watch her and her brother do stuff, and I mean that stuff is silly too, but it's more targeted for kids under
Yeah,
10 like him.
and
But
those kids that do that type of content, they win because that's what they're going for. You know, Piper and her mom, I don't know what kind of ratchetness they were doing, and then the parents of the squad basically was just drop. I guess they were just dropping the kids off and leaving. And
I think they trusted her, and the kids were having fun in the beginning.
mm-hmm, it
And they'd already been successful, so here was a chance to connect with someone who was where they wanted to be. So
mm-hmm,
probably seemed like they hit the lottery.
yeah. What did they say? They were working. They were working crazy hours. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, like 12, 15 hours a
Yeah,
day
and
or
they didn't
something.
eat, and they showed on the documentary like they were like, we haven't eaten. They was just so nonchalant about it. I'll be crying. You talking about a 12, 13-year-old kid? I want to go home. I really do. I'm hungry. I'm sad. You know.
Well, I mean, we monitor what our son watches, but now it's like I got to be careful that when he's 12 or 13 and watching those kind of influencers, they're not being, risque and doing inappropriate things inside of videos that are supposed to be fun, silly kid videos.
Yeah, that's the only thing about the internet, man. It's like it truly is a gift and a curse. I think because now we have to watch our kids, and stuff like that. you know, what these people might throw, online and our kids might catch it and, start watching it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going crazy. Like, what are we going through here in Raleigh? Aren't they trying to they're trying to ban cell
Oh, cell
phones. The
phones at
big
school.
cell phone ban, you know, that's off the chain. I'm like, y'all wasn't already doing that, you know?
There wasn't any
You
kind of.
mean you mean to tell me I can Google all my schoolwork?
Well, you're not supposed to have your phone out at school, but they would have it on their persons and still be
Man,
doing stuff. But now they don't even want them to
no,
have it on their
nah,
persons.
not me. Somebody I knew let me bring a piece of tech in class. It's like I'm cheating on everything. I hate to say it, and they probably are too. I mean, it's hard not to, you know.
Well, at this point, it seems like you're going to have to only have oral exams with the
Yes,
teacher because if you
yes.
write it at home, you're going to use AI. If
Or
you're at school, you're
chat,
cheating
G,
on their phone.
chat GPT or Apple Intelligence, man. I had what's the Apple Intelligence write us a whole script, which I haven't used yet, but y'all will hear it. I'm not gonna lie to you. You might hear it in this podcast.
So that brings me to, as I was jotting down some notes about what we were going to talk about, one of my questions is if you think back to when you were a kid or even a young adult and you imagined what the future today would look
Mm.
like, is it all that we hyped up to believe it would be? Like, is this no?
I I didn't predict this at all. Like it would be like literally like this, where
Like,
we're going through the technology. I always have loved technology and computers and stuff, but I never thought it was gonna be like, well, we don't still don't have them, but I didn't think people were gonna try to, manufacture a freaking flying car or, electric cars. I didn't know, not at all, you know.
do you like all the things that we have now? Like, do you think all of this technology and advancement is it all been beneficial, or you wish there were some things that were just the way they used to be?
I think some of it is a little bit beneficial, but you know, we can benefit too from things being like they used to be a little bit. Cause simple, you got to think the road was a little bit smoother for everybody.
Right.
Technology is good. I felt like if we could have just, put our toes in the water and say, okay, this is a nice place to be, but we don't have to change everything. We don't have to start making robots and all this stuff. Let's not play gods.
Mm.
We're not God at all. So let's stop that.
I was thinking a little bit like it's a superhero power, and it feels like we're using it not necessarily for evil, but we're not maximizing the use of it for good.
No.
Because, if you think about how could you use this technology to improve medical care or
Yes.
scientific discovery to fight diseases and things like that, versus not to say electric cars are bad, but now the
Hmm.
market's getting flooded with all kinds of
It's just kind of
companies
unnecessary
making
things.
right, and the robot that brings your Chick-fil-A
Oh
and
God. I hope everybody, if not cutting you off, but I hope everybody will Google or get on YouTube and look up the little Chick-fil-A car. That's it's funny. It is funny. But go ahead.
right,
I'm sorry.
AI bots that are your chat when you call customer service.
It's
And
really
sometimes it works, but a lot of times it doesn't. And it's
stupid.
like, are you really maximizing that piece of technology or
Mm-hmm.
advancement? And at the same time, too, I think about we have so many more choices for everything that we do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, if back in the day, there might have been two, maybe three, and you just had to choose and move forward. And it's like, if there would we be moving along smoother in life and with less
Exactly.
anxiety and hesitation about making the right choice because there weren't too many things to choose from?
Yeah. Yeah, me and you talk about that all the time. I think we talked about when Rachel was here, and it's like for us, and I'm pretty sure some of our friends are like this too at times. It's like you have so many things at your leisure, like for streaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, I cannot get through all this stuff, or I don't know what to pick. So it's just like, what is it? I just like tap out and don't watch nothing, and it just stays on my list for
Right.
years.
You just keep scrolling and adding things to the list, and you
Yeah,
never actually watch
huh?
something.
That might be good. What do you think? And you're like, I don't want to waste my life on, this movie if it's not good. Which we have a lot of that stuff. We have a lot of, crap out there. You remember the days when the movies were good and wholesome, and they were people used to write real good. You know.
I mean, it's for the time, but some of that stuff look at it now, and you're like, this was
Yes,
horrible.
exactly.
Why do I love this?
I forgot what I tried to watch, and I'm like, man, this was straight trash. you know. And some of the stuff does hold up well though. Not much of it. But go
The
ahead.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is timeless.
I don't know. That movie just creeps me out and all different. But I know it's a classic though, so yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it's like it's a lot of happening. Definitely for sure. It's like I think it's like I said, it's a gift and a curse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the next gen. I don't want to sound like an old person, but I don't know what it lies for the next generation. You know.
Well, and how does that affect their ability to be resilient humans?
Mm.
You know, you don't have to work hard at anything. Everything is right there at your fingertips. You don't have to wait for anything. It's like that's part of your skill set to evolve into a fully functioning human being.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, it's like people that I don't know why that made me think of this. People that have to date now.
To
You
have
know,
what?
have to date. If they're single
Oh,
and stuff like that. How it'd be to meet people. Their way of meeting people is like so different than
you just
where we.
swipe on your
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, man.
It's very superficial.
Yeah, I remember the time when we started dating and we went out to dinner, and the lady was like, "Wow, that's weird." You know, what was it? We were talking.
Yeah, she said it was nice.
Yeah, she's like, "Holy moly, there's people over there talking. They're not on their phones." But it probably was different when we got home. We just got on our phones and started.
No, when we got home, we got on the phone to talk to each other.
Was there even TikTok when we started dating? I
Mm-mm.
don't think. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's crazy.
Instagram. I mean, we've been together for 10 years. Instagram wasn't even a big thing yet.
Yeah, it was starting to. I feel like it might. Yeah, maybe I need to check that out. Yeah, I don't remember it too much.
We were talking instead of FaceTime. We were talking to each other on Skype.
Yeah, and they finally shut that down. They
Mm-hmm.
finally shut Skype down.
Now I can call you on Microsoft Teams if I want to
Yeah, oh
talk to
Lord.
you.
Good times. What was this we watched earlier? A news it wasn't a news special. It was a little news briefing.
Yeah, a little news blurb.
Yeah, about Jack in the Box.
Mm-hmm.
Which we have none of those over here that I know of. It's a West
Mm-mm.
Coast thing. When I lived in Phoenix, I did eat there, but they're shutting down, what is it, 200 stores. And you said, what was it? Is
They said because the sales were down, and I said in comparison to what other
mm-hmm.
chains, because I feel like probably sales are down for everybody.
And as soon as you said that, that's exactly what they said. And I asked you, why do you think that is? You said what?
I said that things are costing more with the
Exactly.
inflation. Bills are higher, mortgages higher, clothes are higher. So if you had an extra $50 a month that you used to splurge at Del Taco, you're probably taking that $50 and having to divvy it up to pay the extra five on this bill, the extra 10 on that one, the extra 50 on your, rent payment. And so there's not room for that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. That woman that was, what was it? She got some food from Del Taco on the
Breakfast,
break.
lunch, and dinner for
I'm
$9.99.
like, wow, no wonder they might be closing to 200 stores because y'all shouldn't be selling this shit this cheap.
Well, and if it's that cheap, Is it, what is it? Is it real food? Is it
No, it is.
nutritional?
It is donkey meat.
Right. Is it good for you? That's a whole nother situation.
Well, people, when I lived in Phoenix, I never got a chance to eat at Del Taco. I had a couple of coworkers, and they said it was good food.
I mean, Taco Bell tastes good, but we're still not 100% sure what it is.
Donkey meat. I'm pretty sure it's donkey meat. I don't want to know. I don't want to see inside the studio. I'll say,
You don't want to see how the sausage is
I
made?
don't. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't. People say I don't eat hot dogs. You know what they put in hot dogs? I don't want to know. I just,
Just going to enjoy it and keep living?
yeah,
You know,
don't
I
want to.
used to, when people would say stuff about foods, I would be like, my nanny is 90 years old and she's been eating this her whole life and she's perfectly fine.
Oh my god, yeah. And she lived to be what 100? Was
Not
she 100?
quite. She made
Almost,
it to
yeah, 99.
98.
99. Won't it? Yeah, she was. Yeah,
Okay, 99.
I'm thinking. Yeah, was it?
I thought it was 98, but it could have been.
Yeah, it
Our
was close,
Aunt
very
Daisy
close.
lived to 101.
Man, you talking about good
That's a
times.
long time
And
to
she
be
was
around.
still going to church. I mean, she seen slavery, World
She,
War One. She probably owned some slaves. I mean, she's seen a lot. Like, come on now,
Slavery.
100 years, man. Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, you think 100 years? She probably saw that. I mean, she might have been. She might have knew Rosa Parks.
She might. I mean,
I
that would have been
mean,
her
real talk.
time.
Yeah.
She definitely suffered through Jim Crow and
All
civil
that.
rights and
God.
even the times before then. She saw a lot in her years of
She's seen
living.
so many. What's that? Damn decades. That's
Hmm.
crazy. Even she saw this, our
She
technology.
survived a Jerry curl chime, all of it.
Man, boy, she used to probably wet up some
No, she didn't have
pillows.
one. I was just thinking about it. She had that good old roller set.
Oh man, good times, man. But yeah, it's so weird. It's like now, it's like I was talking to somebody. It's like I love shoes. I think you do too. But it's like it's crazy because now it's like you have to really look for a sale for shoes because shoes is really there's not you talking about good shoes. You can't find a pair of good shoes under $100 anymore. I remember when shoes was like 30 and $40. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Hmm.
crazy. Like Vans are not even that anymore. You know, I'm like, dang, are we gonna have to start rocking Bobos or just
Well, I
it's
mean,
it's crazy.
people still buy shoes at Target and Walmart. I just
Shoe, but they just as much, ain't they?
I mean, not quite, but they're not cheap. But I think I don't know if just because we've learned more or people actually have more feet problem or what, but sometimes you got to have a particular kind of shoe
Yeah, oh
to
yeah.
be comfortable or to deal with whatever you got going on. I mean, I got a pair of Birkenstocks I've been rocking since college, so I've definitely got my
Yeah,
money's worth out of
yeah,
those.
but you talking about how much a pair of Birkenstocks now? $2,000.
I
It's
saw some on sale for 75, some cute ones.
it's crazy.
I'm
Oh
paying
my
for that
god,
German engineering
so
and the
cool.
shoes that will last a lifetime almost.
Yeah, Birkenstocks they hold up. If you spend anybody who knows that who has some, they put the money in them. They know they're getting what's that? How many years in it? Easy
I
before they
mean,
gonna start having problems.
20 years. I have
Mm.
a pair that are probably 20 years old and they've been resold a couple times. The
Mm.
toes are kind of scuffed up. Probably use a fresh coat of shoe color to try to hide that a little bit, but that cork footbed, it's been doing me right.
Yeah, it's what you like. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I was in Hibbett Sports, and I'm like, was talking to one of the workers. I'm like, that's crazy that there's not a shoe under $100. If it is, I really don't know if it
Maybe a
is.
kid shoe, but yeah,
No,
no.
kinda, kinda. I look at the shoes for what's that? Dylan. I'm like, man, to spend 80 on up. That's what's
For
all
him to
like.
drag
Yeah,
them things around the
yeah,
playground and throw them in
man.
his room.
Man, blow him up and stuff like that. I'm sorry. I mean, he wear name brand shoes, but he get the little special, man. We have to do
Well,
that. It's a
and
little
he doesn't
special.
care, so as long as he don't care, we're good.
Yeah.
Cause I think he's gonna have a big foot. So, We might have should have got those size 15 Hey Dudes for him to save for later.
No, I don't think. I think he'll be all right. The max I think he'll be is a 13.
13.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he'll be fine. Definitely. Well, people, that's our time. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. If you like what we're talking about or like hanging out with us, please like and subscribe this page. All right, guys, take it easy.
Later.